Welcome to the Brazos Safety Management Solutions K-12 Construction Site Safety Orientation. This training is required for all workers before beginning any work on site. We operate on active school campuses, which means students, teachers, and staff may be nearby at all times. Your awareness, your professionalism, and your commitment to safety are what protect everyone on this job. Let's get started. Our number one priority on every K-12 construction site is safety, full stop. We are working in an environment where children are present, and that means we hold ourselves to the highest standard. Never compromise safety for speed or convenience. Every worker on this site is responsible not just for their own safety, but for the safety of the people around them. If you see something unsafe, speak up immediately. A safe site is a productive site, and we expect every one of you to take that seriously. Personal protective equipment is non-negotiable on this site. PPE must be worn at all times. There are no exceptions. At minimum, you are required to wear a hard hat, a high-visibility safety vest, and steel-toed boots from the moment you step onto this site. Your PPE must be in good condition, so inspect it before each use. If it's damaged, replace it. Failure to wear proper PPE may result in your immediate removal from the project. PPE protects your life and sets the standard for everyone around you. Every worker must sign in at the construction trailer each and every morning before beginning work. Sign in before you touch a single tool or set foot in the work zone. At the end of each workday, you must also sign out before leaving the site. This sign-in log is not optional. It is a critical safety and accountability record. In the event of an emergency or evacuation, that log tells us exactly who is on site. Failure to sign in or sign out is a safety violation and may result in removal from the project. All incidents on this site must be reported to the general contractor immediately, and we mean immediately. This includes injuries, near misses, property damage, and any unsafe condition you observe. Do not delay your report. Do not attempt to minimize or hide what happened. Brazos Safety Management will also be notified of all incidents. Reporting protects you legally, gets people the help they need, and most importantly, it prevents the next accident from happening. There is never a penalty for reporting. Silence is the real danger. A job hazard analysis, or JHA, must be completed every single day before work begins. The JHA identifies the hazards specific to the tasks you'll be performing that day. Every worker involved in the task must review and sign the JHA before starting. If the scope of work changes during the day, the JHA must be updated to reflect it. Completed JHAs are submitted to the GC or site supervisor. This is not a suggestion. No JHA means no work. That policy is firm and applies to every worker on this site. There is a strict dress code on this construction site, and it exists to keep you safe. You must wear an ANSI-compliant hard hat at all times. A high-visibility safety vest at ANSI Class 2 or higher is required. Steel-toed boots that meet ASTM standards are mandatory, no exceptions. Long pants are required. Shorts are not permitted on this site. Avoid loose clothing or jewelry that can get caught in equipment. Open-toed shoes, sandals, and regular athletic shoes are not allowed. Dress for the hazards, not for comfort. Your PPE must match the specific hazards of whatever task you are performing. A hard hat and vest are the baseline, but many tasks require additional protection. If you're cutting or grinding, you need safety glasses and a face shield. Chemical work requires chemical-resistant gloves and eye protection. Overhead tasks call for extra eye protection. In noisy environments, earplugs or earmuffs are required to protect your hearing. Your supervisor will always specify what additional PPE is needed for your task. If you're unsure, ask before you start. Never assume the minimum is enough. Falls are the number one killer in the construction industry, and we take them seriously on this site. Any work at 6 feet or higher requires fall protection, no exceptions. That means guardrails, safety nets, or a personal fall arrest system. Never remove or bypass fall protection systems for any reason. All floor openings must be covered and guarded immediately when discovered. Before you use any fall protection equipment, inspect it. A harness with a damaged lanyard or a guardrail that's been tampered with can cost you your life. Protect yourself and the workers around you. Ladder safety is critical, and ladder accidents are entirely preventable. Before you use any ladder, inspect it. Never use a ladder that is damaged or defective. Set it up at the correct 4-to-1 angle, 1 foot out for every 4 feet of height. The ladder must extend at least 3 feet above the landing surface. Always maintain 3 points of contact while climbing. Never carry tools or materials in your hands while on a ladder. Use a tool belt or a hoist. And never stand on the top 2 rungs of a step ladder. Follow these rules every time, without exception. Every pothole, trench, and floor opening on this site must be covered immediately, no delays. Covers must be rated for the load that will bear on them, whether that's workers, vehicles, or equipment. Once a cover is in place, it must be secured so it cannot shift, slide, or be accidentally knocked aside. Mark all covers clearly with warning signs, paint, or barricade tape so no one misses them. If a cover is removed for a task, replace it the moment that task is complete. Report any uncovered openings to the site supervisor immediately. Do not walk past an uncovered hole. Hot work, which includes welding, cutting, grinding, and any open flame activity, requires a permit before it begins. Contact the general contractor to obtain a hot work permit before any hot work starts. This is not optional. A fire watch must be maintained throughout the entire job and for 30 minutes after the work is complete. Keep an appropriate fire extinguisher accessible at all times during hot work. Remove or protect all flammable materials within 35 feet of the work area. Hot work on a school campus is especially sensitive. Take every precaution and never skip the permit. Electrical safety is one of the most critical topics on any construction site. Treat every electrical line as if it is energized, always, without exception. Maintain a minimum 10-foot clearance from all overhead power lines. All temporary power sources must be protected with GFCI devices. Only qualified, licensed electricians may perform work on electrical systems. Before any electrical work begins, lockout-tagout procedures must be followed to prevent accidental energization. Always inspect cords, tools, and extension cords before use. Never use damaged electrical equipment, not even once. Electricity kills, and respect for it must never slip. If you operate equipment on this site, you must hold a current certification for that specific piece of equipment. This applies to forklifts, scissor lifts, boom lifts, and all heavy machinery. Your certification must be presented to the general contractor before you operate any equipment, period. Operating equipment without proper certification is grounds for immediate and permanent removal from this project. Before you start any piece of equipment, conduct a pre-operation inspection and document it. If you find a defect or malfunction, report it immediately and do not operate that equipment until it has been repaired and cleared. This is a K-12 school campus, and that means we have a strict no-contact policy that applies to every worker on this site. You are not permitted to speak to, approach, or interact with students, school personnel, or pedestrians at any time, for any reason. If a child or school staff member approaches you, calmly redirect them away from the construction area and notify your supervisor immediately. If any unauthorized person enters the construction zone, report it to the general contractor right away. Violations of this policy will result in immediate and permanent removal from the project, and may result in criminal charges. Take this policy seriously. Food and drinks are not permitted inside any school building. This includes all construction areas that are connected to or located within the school building. You may eat and drink only in designated outdoor areas away from the building. This policy is in place to protect students from allergen exposure and contamination, risks that can be life-threatening for some children. All food waste and trash must be disposed of in designated construction waste containers. Do not leave food wrappers, bottles, or containers anywhere on the school property. Violations of this policy are taken seriously and may result in removal from the project. All vehicles must be parked in the designated construction parking area only. Do not park in school parking lots, fire lanes, bus zones, or handicap spaces, ever. Unauthorized parking creates hazards for students, staff, and emergency vehicles, and your vehicle may be towed at your expense. Construction vehicles and equipment must remain within the designated work zone at all times. If you are unsure where to park, ask the general contractor before leaving your vehicle. This is a simple rule that reflects your professionalism and respect for the school community we are working alongside. This site has a zero-tolerance policy for drugs, alcohol, and weapons. No exceptions, ever. These substances and items are strictly prohibited on site at all times. This includes arriving to work under the influence of anything that impairs your judgment or reaction time. If you take prescription medication that may affect your ability to work safely, you are required to notify your supervisor before starting. We are on a school campus, and violations of this policy may result in criminal charges in addition to immediate and permanent removal from the project. If you observe someone who is impaired or in possession of a prohibited item, report it to the GC immediately. All workers are required to wear their site identification badge visibly at all times while on the school campus. Your badge must be clipped to your outer clothing in a location where it can be clearly seen. Do not cover it or tuck it away. Badges identify you as an authorized worker on a school campus, and this is a legal and contractual requirement. If you lose or forget your badge, report to the construction trailer before you begin work that day. If you see an individual on site without a visible badge, report it to the general contractor immediately. This policy helps protect the children and staff at this school. All doors, gates, and access points to the construction zone must remain secured at all times. Never prop open a door or gate, not even temporarily, not even for a few minutes. An unsecured access point is an open invitation for a child or unauthorized individual to walk into a dangerous construction zone. After every entry and exit, verify that the door or gate is properly closed and latched behind you. If you discover a damaged lock, gate, or barrier, report it to the general hall contractor immediately so it can be repaired. Securing access points is one of the most important things you can do to protect the children on this campus. If you see something unsafe or suspicious, say something immediately. This applies to unsafe working conditions, near misses, unauthorized individuals on site, and any suspicious behavior. Report what you see to the general contractor or your site supervisor right away. You will never be penalized for reporting a concern. On a K-12 campus, your situational awareness directly protects children and school staff. And remember, you have the right and the responsibility to stop work if you believe it is unsafe. Speaking up takes courage, but silence can cost lives. See something, say something, every time. The construction zone must be physically separated from all school activity areas at all times, no exceptions. Use barricades, fencing, signage, and physical barriers to clearly define and secure the work zone boundary. No school personnel, students, or visitors should ever be able to access the construction area. Workers must remain within the designated construction zone. Do not wander into school hallways, common areas, or any part of the building outside your approved work area. If the separation between the work zone and school areas is ever compromised, notify the general contractor immediately. Keeping these zones separate is not just a rule, it is your responsibility. You have completed the Brazos Safety Management Solutions K-12 Construction Site Safety Orientation. By working on this site, you are agreeing to follow every safety rule covered in this training without exception. Safety is not just a policy. It is a commitment you make to yourself, your coworkers, and the children and staff at this school. If you ever have questions, concerns, or need to report something, contact your Brazos safety representative or the general contractor immediately. Thank you for taking this training seriously. Now let's build something great, safely.